Hi, thank you so much for being here today. So can we start?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
So can you share the story behind coding and more? Like what exactly inspired you to start out this venture?
So firstly, Kyra, thank you for thinking that I fit in your scheme of women entrepreneurs who are doing trailblazing things. I started coding in more during lockdown. Uh, Before coding in more, I was always into education, counseling children for study abroad, and then I started a Kumon franchise. But I felt that education needs to be, you know, uh, redefined. you know I feel that all you kids are going through this rut where you're going from one degree to the other, without really enjoying learning, and without maybe sometimes not having the life skills that you need, for the work. And I felt that coding was one such life skill, that would help children. And because I was looking for a product for my own daughter and I couldn't find something, at least in Bombay, I said, you know what? It's like applied math. I'm a math major. Let me do it myself. And when I started researching coding, because I was not from that background, I stumbled into AI. And that's how our company, which is Coding and More, actually got into AI education for children, because I felt that that was a life skill that everyone should have. Another personal motivation of mine was to empower women. You know, myself having gone to a college in the US, having had a great education, but not having had the opportunity to work, because of the community limitations, etc. And I saw that women around the world had to take a sabbatical because of family, maternity leave, many issues which men didn't have to do. And then they had the hardest time coming back to work because of the imposter syndrome. So when I built Coding and More, it was my own company. I wanted to be all women run, where they had an opportunity to keep upskilling, never have to pause their careers because of whatever reasons, by making it flexi time and work from home, where we have no minimum commitment. So our company runs on a philosophy where it's not the most efficient workplace, but it's a very happy workplace. So that's my motivation behind Coding and More, to give life skills to children through AI and to help women upskill and empower themselves.
And that's actually amazing. I didn't know that it was all women done.
Yeah.
And how exactly do you differentiate yourself from the other education platforms that offer coding services as well?
So I think our differentiation factor is in two ways. One is that we specialize in AI. Unfortunately, we're stuck with the name Coding and More, because when I started this company, I thought I'm doing coding, but we have completely pivoted AI centric. And I don't think anybody else is completely AI centric. And B, I think our greatest differentiator is that we are impact driven. We personalize our education for the children depending upon their capabilities and interest. We don't have a cookie cutter approach. We'll keep our cohorts either 1:1 or maximum 4:1, because we want to make a difference. I think that's a differentiating factor.
Yeah, that.
You had us, so I hope you experienced some of it.
No, no, definitely. I mean, it was very hands-on. I could message anyone at like 1 in the morning when I had a problem. Also, I'd get a response like in under 24 hours, and like you could schedule a meeting 2 hours before like you need it as well, like spur of the moment.
I think our forte has been in finding empathetic teachers who care about the children. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had two teachers like to help me, and they've been great. And like even when one of them had to take a leave, they suggested someone else. So definitely very engaged. And what exactly inspired you to like focus on the education sector, like specifically, and how exactly do you envision it like impacting the lives of the students that you have?
so you're asking me, why did I focus on education? Number one,
Yeah.
and what impact do I think I'll have? So The reason I decided to focus on education was because I think uh, educators are the one who shape the way other people think and the confidence that they have in themselves. Educators are the one who sort of bring out the best in people, and it's not just children, it's also with adults. All of us have certain insecurities, and we need that little bit of a mentoring and hand holding, somebody to tell you, you know what, you can do this. And educators have the power to do that, right? uh, and I felt that I have the empathy and I can see the good in everyone, which is why I felt I was a natural fit for that. And I can find people who are like me who can spread that, same effect. And this is such a powerful tool, right, to have, where you can actually make everyone believe and find their true purpose or their best capabilities. And I mean, maybe it's very idealistic to say that, but what we want to do through our journey of AI literacy is, first of all, we believe in AI literacy for all. When the world is saying that you need, stats and math and all this coding, and only a certain kind of people can be, AI technologists, we have always said AI is for all, because even if you decide not to do all of this, you're still going to use it elsewhere, so you must learn it. And whenever you empower anyone with any one skill, that builds their confidence and their self-worth. So my personal vision for this company is to spread AI literacy for all, not just children, women, and to the underprivileged, so that you're bridging all the UN SDGs, bridging the digital gap, bridging the gender gap. So
And to help everyone, all of our students, how exactly do you keep up to date with the latest advancements in AI? Because every day there's something new coming up.
I read, I live, breathe, sleep AI, and the best way to do this is just through, uh, following academics and industry experts, who are aligned with your own ethical matrix of what this technology should be. So, in order to be up to date, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on a lot of AI groups, I subscribe to a lot of AI newsletters to make sure that I'm abreast with what's happening with AI, which would help me and my educators to then pass it on to the children.
And
So,
how exactly do you then put it into the curriculum, like update it and integrate it?
uh, so once you know what the changes are, we have a small team of educators, and we are very closely connected. And again, with technology, it's so easy to be in touch in real time, right? You have Slack, you have WhatsApp. I mean, so whenever now any of our educators or I find something which is of merit to the children, we immediately share it with the group, and then we'll have maybe uh, in a monthly meeting or so where we update the curriculum. When the chat GPT came, we obviously had a module on chatbots, but now this was something that we felt was very, very important that every child should know. So we first tested it with one group, got the feedback, and then, curriculum. So you have to be very agile and with you who have a growth mindset, who are willing to keep learning and keep tweaking the curriculum, and who see the cues of how the kids are getting it, what they're getting, what they're enjoying, right? That's the only way you can be adaptive. But it's fun. You have to have fun while doing this.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the I believe if you need to be successful in anything, you have to take an interest in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
That's true.
oh, sorry to cut you off, but can you share any success story or achievement from any of the students that have completed one of our programs?
So, there is no such thing as completing a program, because when the children started with us, we started 3 years ago, right? The youngest was 7 years old. She's still in the program. uh, the oldest ones are now going to apply to colleges, you being one of them. You had a very short stint with us, but a lot of our children have been with us, and now the applications are going. So I'll really know the successes as far as college applications go, and then also you can't pin it to our project. But I think if you were to tell me success stories, it's how you define success. If you define success by winning competitions, a lot of our children have won, international AI competitions, or have been a runner up or the second runner up in the World AI competition for youth, which is held in the US. It's being judged by a professor from Carnegie Mellon, David Turizzi.
Oh,
So we have almost had 8 teams, win awards there. Last year, we had a team, be a runner up for the Microsoft Imagine Junior Cup. This year, just 2 weeks ago, we know that 2 teams of ours for girls, they were semi-finalists for the Technovation Girls competition. And that was a very competitive competition because 60 countries were participating, 2,100, teams. So we're still waiting for the final results. So those were small wins, according to me. But the fact that children are enjoying this curriculum and are taking it forward and are excited to come to class is really how I define success. The fact that my teachers are willing to learn and they are pushing their own personal limits of learning, that to me is real success. And where I have come, not being from a coding background to now being, I think, quite a bit of an AI expert, I think those are successes.
yeah, definitely. And looking ahead, what exactly is your vision for coding and more? Like, how do you plan on expanding our platform?
So I want coding and more to be synonymous with AI education. When anybody says, I want to be AI literate, I want them to think of coding and more. To personally, what we are trying to do is, besides just reaching out to children, we want to impact more teachers. Because if you impact more teachers, then that gets amplified into more children, right? So we actually want to try and build a way that AI education becomes certain person who wants to go in for AI for education. You usually for a B.Ed or a Montessori course. I want to have that AI education as a part of their learning.
That,
Teachers who are already teaching, if they get AI training, so they can weave it into their conversations. That's the only way we can make the whole nation AI literate. So that's my vision.
yeah, I think everyone needs to be AI literate also now, because this is a
Yeah.
huge.
It's a year, and there's no reason why you should not be, right? It's not hard.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, once you understand the basics, I think you yourself get interested in it because it's applied
Right?
everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you were to organize a coding and more game night, what activities would you include?
Ooh, if I were to organize a game night, does it have to be with coding and AI?
I mean, preferably, but I guess you can like create some kind of a spin-off with the normal games you play on game night.
So, I would have my own Scrabble board, which you could only play with words from, uh, technology, where you cannot make words which are nothing related. That would be a really hard Scrabble, I think. That would be one. I would play 20 questions, which I think I'm such an AI geek. I would spin off all the games to make it AI centric, in a fun way, like a hangman, which would be only AI words, so that it's a cool way to review your things and be funny with it. If he had a stand up comedian come in, all his jokes would be about AI.
But could you include like the most basic functions for coding in Scrabble, like a for function? I mean, those would be really easy points to get.
What do you mean by that? Would I be able to include what?
Like the for function in Python, I mean, that would be a really easy point to get.
Hmm. So would I include that?
Yeah, would you include it? Oh, I think you're lagging.
No. Maybe I would, and maybe what I would also do is give bonus points to the person who makes the most innovative game. You know, open it up to the floor, right? That, whoever comes for the game night, they have to think of their own fun ways of what they would like to do.
Yeah. Or you could create
But
like,
you've not given me food for thought. Now you've given me food for thought.
yeah. And since my mind immediately goes towards food for some reason, I feel like it'd be cool if you create like an AI themed food. Like everyone would be given like a certain kind of food. You have to make it like AI themed somehow. That'd be
Yeah, I can see them making neural networks with pasta, to impersonate the brain or whatever. Um,
yeah.
you're wondering
Yeah, I mean it's been a while since I've read up on CNN.
with food, what would I do? It's interesting. I have to think about this. We should probably plan this,
Yeah, actually that's not bad.
you know, to see what geeky children also come to us. So, see, look, you could start the whole planning with generative AI, right? You could have ChatGPT write the invite. Maybe you can ask ChatGPT to give us ideas on what we should include in a game night, which is around AI. Uh, we could use Mid Journey to make the images and the invites. We could play quick draw with all the participants, which is an AI way. Um, Maybe you could play games like recognizing deepfakes by cloning people's voices and guessing robot or not robot. You could play a Turing test. The Turing test?
Yeah, I watched a video also about this cloning thing last week. I mean, people are, I don't know, it was like a more of a prank video where this guy used his friend's voice to like create an audiobook for him and he put it on Amazon. But like, I mean, it's amazing. I didn't even know that existed until like last week.
The cloning of the voices?
Yeah, cloning of the voice and it sounds so realistic.
And have you heard Val Kilmer in Mission Impossible? No, Top Gun. The last Top Gun that came out. Val Kilmer's voice was voice cloned.
Oh, okay.
He's got throat cancer, so they were able to recreate it through voice cloning. If you watch the Critters animation movie, it's completely made on AI.
Okay.
Um, the new Coca-Cola ad has a little bit of AI in it. And now you have avatars. So that was my next thing to do is see whether we can create an avatar and clone it and have it as a mascot for coding and more.
Yeah, no, I mean like James Cameron's also like taken 12 years to launch like the last Avatar. I mean, I think he's I think he also delayed the next three because of this. He's waiting for like some technological advancements or something.
Yeah, so see, today they're still a little glitchy. Today they're still a little glitchy. They still got a little robotically feel to it. And also, of course, it has ethical implications. Since you're so interested in ethics, one has to be very careful now with all of the generative AI because misinformation and real information is getting blurred.
No.
So, I mean, that's another field that you should look at, by the way. I know that's not part of the interview, but
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll have a conversation after this. And if coding and more had a time machine, which era in history would you introduce the coding education to people?
I wouldn't change the timing because I think, uh, anyway, when we started AI, we were early in the game. In 2020, people still didn't understand what AI literacy meant. Now people are waking up to how important AI literacy is because now they've heard of the chat GPT and things like that. And it's more fear driven rather than, awareness driven. But if I had gone further back, than when I started, I don't think we either had the technology or the platforms in order to be able to introduce it. So I think our timing was right. And I wouldn't do it later because somebody has to start.
Yeah, it's true. Okay.
When I started AI, Kyra, most people who enrolled in our classes thought their children were coming for coding classes. They were not able to differentiate between AI, coding, and robotics. People know the difference between physics, chemistry, and bio. But today you ask 10 people
Yeah.
AI, coding, robotics, they will club it into one. कि हम तो कर रहे हैं, not doing.
I think there's like this conception also, like my child has to do coding and like it all comes under one. As long as you're doing it, it's fine.
Yeah, correct. But they're not the same. It's really not the same. They're different skill sets that you are learning. And coding teaches you how to think logically. It gives you a base if you want to go for CS. But AI is something which is an all purpose technology which is used in everything. Even if you do nothing, just being a consumer, you will use AI and you'll be part of the data. So,
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much for this interview and this opportunity.